Sometimes when I sit back and really let it register, I did everything I said I would and said it first.
Alright guys, looks like our mission is complete. We have successfully eliminated Lil Dicky from the hip-hop industry and planted another white guy for people to gawk over. Surprisingly, he isn't meant for weird white dudes who don't listen to hip-hop just to make the exception for, but instead has become the example of what happens when Drake dick riders get famous. Yep, that's right, for today's video is going to be on the CIA agent himself, Jack Harlow, alongside their latest version of MK Ultra with his latest project Come Home the Kids Miss You, being a mix of these very easy, lovey-dovey tracks with hard-hitting beats and switches to make for one of the hip-hop albums of this year. Yeah, that sounds right. Alright, so if I'm gonna be honest, this album is terribly mid, but I can't end this video without explaining why, so if I had to give a quick summary of this project, it's like listening to Certified Lover Boy Part 2. This time being more safe and catchy to reach that teen girl audience that Jack Harlow has such a strong grip on right now. And we're looking at this project and his previous project, That's What They All Say, I think that I'm starting to come to the conclusion that Jack Harlow doesn't really have anything to say. And it's not like I'm expecting him to go on this J. Cole, Eminem, lyrical, spiritual, individual, fast rap thing, but all of his bars consist of how much he loves girls and how he takes away from their exes and how big he is, which isn't a bad thing because there are other rappers that have done the same thing in the past. But the thing that separates Jack and the rest of the industry, aside from being white, is the fact that he doesn't really have anything to prove or say. He's just a good looking guy who obviously can only make radio catchy songs. Like, personally, I feel like I'm listening to the same song over and over when listening to this album, with only the features really doing more justice than Jack for the beats that were provided. Like, if you guys remember my feature video from last Friday, I said my main problem with Feature is that he has nothing left to prove. He's already hit the top of the totem pole in terms of trap music, and there's nothing left for him to do or say to get in a 10 out of 10 album without getting out of his comfort zone. But with Jack, it's the fact that he's at the bottom of the totem pole that makes listening to this project even more difficult, because this just doesn't do anything that hasn't been done literally 9 months ago. But as for the production, it was pretty solid. I mean, it was filled with heavy bass and beat switches that were supposed to give some versatility to Jack's rapping, but with how that went, I don't really think the beat switches did any justice aside from just sounding good. Tracks such as First Class, Dua Lipa, and Churchill Downs were pretty nice though, with First Class sampling the old Fergie song for background vocals, which I thought was a nice touch. The mixing on this project sounded fair as well, though some parts such as Drake's verse on Churchill Downs seemed a bit off vocally, but for the majority everything flowed together pretty well, sounding pretty crisp and not being drowned out by the beats in any form. But as for the features, there wasn't many, though I would have said it was necessary, with Drake, Justin Timberlake, Lil Wayne, and Pharrell all tapping in to deliver some pretty nice features, with my favorite being Drake on Churchill Downs, giving us a verse that I really wish we would have had on Certified Lover Boy, but obviously Drake isn't known for dishing out good projects anymore, so that'll never happen. But for what it's worth, he definitely did deliver the hardest, given this Tuscan leather flow that I really enjoyed. But aside from that, there was also Lil Wayne on the track Poison, giving us a melodic flow and singing, which is cool and all, though I'm not personally the biggest fan of the singing Wayne nowadays, but as per usual, Wayne never misses, so at least he's got that going for him. But overall, as I said before, this project was painfully average. I feel like it didn't challenge anything and it didn't really have anything that stood out, like it was just playing safe for appeal and that's it. So to put this on a scale and giving us a high 4 out of 10, not really being a favorite of mine and something that's more likely going to be forgotten a while down the line. But how do you guys feel about Jack's latest album? What would you rate it? Let me know down in the comments while liking and subscribing. Make sure to follow my IG and Twitter, and if you like the little shit she sees in this video, make sure to follow the artist as well because she's dope. And on that note, I'll see you on Monday when I try to make Certified Lover Boy 3. Peace.
Ha! April Fool.